For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the fofo and that ghost. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the fofo chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcon. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them, yeah. And Connie, I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the fofo. This for the fofo. This for the fofo.
Good morning and happy Thursday here on this March 9th show. We've got some great stuff to go over here. My name is Sam Torres. You are watching the 440 Sports Show, Ashtabula's only live morning sports talk show. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Like I said, we've got some great stuff to kind of go over today. I'm really excited about a couple more things. I know it seems like I'm excited about something every day, but you know, that's the beauty of being in sports talk. You get to be excited about a whole bunch of things. So one of the things I am excited about tonight over on YSN, it'll be available on my Facebook page, YouTube page, YSN's YouTube page. It's going to be absolutely everywhere, all the social medias you can take in. You're going to be able to get to watch the girls Division IV semifinals for the state championship with Springfield taking on Toledo Christian right here. Now, the game will not be live, but what you are going to have is a new and soon to be trademarked Yourcast, which is Your Sports Network, YSN's version of a live cast. And you're going to get to see some cool things like this. Now, tonight you're going to have, if you do tune into this, you're going to have the privilege of getting to listen to Anthony Hartwig on the call, as well as, I believe, Noah Doherty as well. And these are two guys who are very, very, very passionate about girls basketball. But as you can see on the screen, you're going to be able to keep track of the score, the time. You know, we're going to do some live updates with stats for these young ladies. And the best part of it is it's FREE free, absolutely free. You're going to be able to check it out right here on YSN and 440 and Goal across all the social media platforms. This is something similar to what we did for the state championship game, which was really, it was just a fun, it was a fun way to kind of take the game in. It reminds me a little bit of if you've ever watched or listened to a Browns game on the app. They do kind of a live cast, that sort of thing. It's just an alternative way if you don't want to pay the money to watch the game tonight. Once again, unlike the virtual pass, which is $10 for all the games, once you get to this level, you're paying $10 for each individual game. So if that price range is a little bit outside of what you would necessarily want to pick up, then check us out tonight. This is going to be at 6 o'clock. We'll start the game coverage. It's going to be a really, really great game. There's a lot of great guys who are going to be on the call. I can't wait to see how this one kind of turns out. You know, one thing about one of my favorite things about being with YSN and becoming part of this team is that when we are told no, we just figure out a different way to approach it. So, you know, this is one of the cool things. Like I said, if you tune in tonight, this is what you'll be looking at. You know what I mean? It'll obviously be moving and, you know, points and fouls and that sort of thing. All that stuff going to be kept up. So Yourcast exclusively here on YSN. That's one of the things you're going to start seeing actually as these game coverages actually kind of get more difficult the further. So for those of you who don't know, the further along you get into the playoffs, in any sport for that matter, is when OHSAA and Spectrum kind of swoop in and take over the coverage. So usually in the beginning rounds at the regional levels, those two companies don't necessarily have the resources to send coverage to local and regional teams, with a few exceptions. Depending, the big dogs sometimes can get those covered early on in the game. So it's those coverages are, if you want to see those playoff runs, those early playoff games, that sort of thing, it's just like the regular season. You got to rely on your local coverage teams, your local broadcast teams, and me being part of that. And that's one of the things I'm most proud about, is being able to bring you guys and anybody who wants to watch any of these Ashtabula County teams a broadcast for these kids. If you want to watch the game and say you're in Florida, or you're, in any other state for that matter, for the family members out of state, if they want to get a chance to check it out here, it's right here and it's free. So that's what's going to be happening tonight. You're going to want to check that out around 6 or I think it's 6 o'clock actually. Right on YSN Live. It'll be on all the social medias. So I'm pretty excited about that one. It's innovative. It's something that allows us to kind of continue that local flavor, that local coverage flavor for those young ladies. And shout out to Springfield. So the New Middletown Springfield Tigers, who are very good in football as well. We've talked about that school district before this year, as they made a football playoff run this year. But their girls basketball team goes out this year 24-3. The record so far, going a perfect 12-0 in their conference. Now, of course, they play in the MVC, the Mahoning Valley Conference. They're in the Scarlet Division with teams like Waterloo, Western Reserve, Mineral Ridge, Lowellville, McDonald, McKinley, and Jackson Milton. Another kind of interesting factoid about tonight's game is both Toledo Christian and Springfield coming into the game with 7-game winning streaks. So the streak is going to be broken for one team tonight, and my hope is that it's Toledo. All right, I want to move on here just really quickly and jump into the YSN All-Star Game that's coming up on March 25th. It's getting here closer than you realize. That's going to be happening right there at the Begley Center in Youngstown, Ohio. Ashtabula going to have big-time, heavy-duty representation in this game this year, and I am so excited to announce some of the names, and the names are continuing to come in. We're waiting on responses from certain invitations, but right now I can tell you, as it stands, Coach Randy Venzel going to be representing Ashtabula. On the girls' side, he'll be coaching the girls' basketball team. Over on the boys' side, you're going to see familiar names like Deshaun Williams from Lakeside. Deshaun Williams, for if you remember from yesterday and the night before when he actually played the game, 14 three-pointers in 1 minute in their three-point contest. Deshaun Williams, also Lakeside's leading scorer this year. This kid's he's a gamer. This kid he's a kid who is going to be able to play the game with anybody. I think that kid has the ability to stand out amongst even superstars, and we're going to get a chance to see it this year as Deshaun Williams goes down to Youngstown State to represent Lakeside in the YSN All-Star Game. Coming out from Conneaut is another dynamic scorer, Chance Loomis. Chance Loomis, the dynamic, very fast, very shifty, and very quick guard for the Conneaut Spartans this year. This is a kid who's another one who can, in the blink of an eye, put up 25 points on you. He can score at the rim. He has the ability to change his shot. You know what I mean? He can shoot the ball very, very well. Loomis, a big time scorer for Conneaut this year. I believe he led all Spartan scorers this year. So you're going to get a chance to see Chance Loomis from representing Conneaut here in the YSN All-Star game. Nate Boyarski, I'm super excited about that one too. The chef going to get another chance to bake up some athletic ability right there in Youngstown. Nate Boyarski going to be representing Grand Valley down in this year's YSN All-Star game, so you'll get a chance to see him. Joey DeGeorge, who averaged right around 24 or 25 points a game this year for the absolutely phenomenal Jefferson Falcons this year. Jefferson Falcons conference champions in the NE8 as they depart from that conference and prepare to begin into what I believe is going to be called the CVC Lake Division. I could be wrong there. If any of the CVC officials know and want to comment on that, let me know. Thank you to my good man, DJ Yoakley. Yeah, we're going to have it's going to be fun. It's going to be absolutely fun with these guys, and Asheville is going to go out there. And here's the thing, and this is my favorite part about this YSN All-Star game. Number one, it's not senior dependent, so you're really getting the best of the best. The best players, we speak amongst each other as broadcasters and as guys who have covered these games. We look at the stats and we see who are the guys and girls that have really stood out, and how can we put together the best All-Star game possible. Well, guess what? That's what we've done here. Now we send out invites, and if kids can't make it, because the other thing is basketball butts right into baseball and softball season. We kind of go down the line and we figure out what are some other kids that would be available in here. But again, with over 60 schools to pull from, over 60 schools, I think we're close to about the number 68 right now when it comes to schools right here in YSN Network. I confidently can tell you that this All-Star game is truly the best representation of the best basketball in Northeast Ohio. We've got great schools. We've got, teams like Springfield that are, down in Dayton right now. You're going to be able to hear that game again right here tonight. You've got teams like Akron-Hoban who are going to be participating in this one. Akron-Hoban with an absolutely giant win over the monster that is known as St. Ed's. This game is going to be phenomenal, and I'm telling you, on the biggest stage. YSU, for those of you who follow college basketball, YSU just won the Horizon League this year, so they're going to be dancing this year in the tournament. I mean, this is awesome. It's really a great opportunity, and I can't wait to see. We've still got some other invitations that we're waiting to come back from these young men and young ladies, and as those lists increase, and I'll make sure that I let you know out here. Obviously there's going to be some graphics released and that sort of thing, but make sure you double circle that calendar on March 25th. Get your butt down Route 11, get to the Begley Center, and if you can't make it, that's okay too. I understand, but make sure you tune in to ysnlive.com, because the game going to be broadcasted live right there. And then you'll have some representation from Ashtabula on the broadcast as well, because I get to call the game with my main man, Ty Bartel. I'm so excited about that. Got a chance to work with him in Vegas. We got to call some games. He's a really fun broadcaster to work with and a great guy. I think for those of you who aren't familiar with him, it's definitely worth just checking in for that, because he's just fun to listen to. Moving over to the ladies, we're going to go Lainey Passanen from Conneaut. She's going to be attending there. Now, Lainey Passanen, we've talked about her, got a chance to see her in the Senior Classic. Lainey Passanen, a great athlete and a coach's kid. And I always bring that up, not as a detrimental fact. I bring that up as a positive, because I believe coaches' kids serve as generals on the floor. I think they get an understanding of the game that's a little bit deeper, that is a little bit better than people who maybe don't have 24 hours a day of coaching. So she's a great athlete. Looking forward to seeing her. Caitlin McAllister coming from Edgewood. Caitlin McAllister is a firecracker. She gets up and down the court as quickly as any girl I've ever seen. And you better protect that ball, because her defense is chef's kiss. She can steal the ball from almost anybody. That's one to keep your eye on. Kaylin Hart making her appearance. She's going to be representing the Grand Valley Mustangs in this one. And Mia Contenza, the Jefferson Falcon. She is going to be representing Jefferson there. And, shout out to Coach Furman and the Jefferson Falcons, as that program has improved leaps and bounds this year as well, losing some big-time scorers from their senior class last year. And they came out in a very, very good season this year. But yeah, the YSN All-Star Game, March 25th, that's going to be a big one, folks. You don't want to miss that one. I cannot wait. I know that I sound like a record on repeat, but I really cannot explain how excited I am for this event. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be something that we haven't seen in this area before, and really a unique opportunity that's going to happen on an annual basis right here in Ashtabula County. I'm going to run over to some commercials here real quick. We're going to start off with our friends over at Toyota of Warren with a couple commercials to follow that. When we come back, we're going to talk about the St. John Heralds. We've got a schedule. We've got some guys. It's a full preview of the Heralds baseball team. Don't forget the Heralds making lots of noise last year in the tournament. I can't wait to see how they're going to follow it up. Coach Alvin Rodriguez does just a phenomenal job. But let's go to our first break. And when we come back, it's St. John baseball, baby. Sam Torres, 440 on goal.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
All right, welcome back to the 440 Sports Show. It's Sam Torres here, your host in this one. As we come back here, we've got another baseball preview. We started this a couple days ago with the Edgewood Warriors and their preview for the season. Now, what we're going to try and do here, time, as long as we get the time and nothing kind of gets in the way, I would think with a 5-day-a-week morning show, we're going to have plenty of time to do this. But we're going to do our very best to make sure that each team, both baseball and softball, is going to get their preview on the show. I've reached out to the coaches, talking to them about people who are coming back, who they've lost, and what their expectations are on the year. So we started with the Edgewood Warriors, and we're going to move on today to the St. John Heralds. This is baseball. We'll get through all of the baseball teams, and then we're going to start the softball. That way they get their own kind of deal by themselves. But here we go. Talking about the St. John Heralds, who in 2022 go 10-10, including 2 wins in the playoffs. It was really a great end of the season for them. They started off a little bit rough, but Coach Alvin Rodriguez, who, for full disclosure sake, is a childhood friend of mine. So I already think the world of this guy to begin with, but I really think has done a great job with the St. John Heralds. This is a program that, just like its other sports programs, has had some pretty good peaks, but also some very deep valleys. And as they were recovering from a valley, Coach Alvin Rodriguez really found the most out of those guys, and they started to believe in themselves and really take those late games and make the plays that they needed to make. St. John, obviously one of the smallest schools in Northeast Ohio, and for athletics sakes, I believe they're one of the smallest schools in the state to offer all the sports that they do. So it's really awesome to see them when they are competing with the big dogs, going through and making a difference. We've got some returning players they lost, and new additions. We're going to talk about that after the schedule. I do want to kind of peek into the schedule and just kind of, I guess, walk our way down a little bit. And we're going to talk about some of the games that I think you're going to be able to see right here on the network. Starting off 3 on March 27th. And folks, let me put this out there for those of you who, I'm sure you all know, if you're a baseball fan, every single one of these games is weather dependent. And we live right here in Ohio. We know that, March 27th games and games even in mid-April are tough to come by. So hopefully we can get as many as we can. I remember thinking to myself when I looked at this record or this schedule, like, man, there is a ton of games. But I guess it's the buckshot approach. If you schedule 1 million of them, even if you only cover half of them, that's a lot of games. But they're going to start off the year at Wyndham, followed by going down to JFK. And I can't say for 100% sure, as I'm getting you, this will be the first kind of full year through with YSN going baseball. But I do know that Warren JFK is one of our YSN families, of family schools. So that may be a game that's covered right here on YSN. The best way to the best way to know is if you have any questions about what games are going to be on that day, where can I find live coverage? Make sure you go to www.ysnlive.com. Check that website out. It's going to be a one-stop shop. That's where all your information is going to come from. One of my favorite parts of the website as well, how many times do you find yourself searching all over the area for scores, trying to figure out what the local teams did in their game? Baby, we got you covered. ysnlive.com/scores. That's where you're going to find all the accurate, because we are going to double check our sources, all the accurate scores right there on YSN Live. Then we move on. 3:29, they're going to be playing Pymatuning Valley, and if you look there, you might see a little star. And that little star is because I know that is a game that we are going to make every effort to cover myself. Personal broadcast of that game. Pymatuning Valley coming to play St. John. Not only are they county foes, they are conference foes. Both of them playing in the Northeastern Athletic Conference. PV going to take on St. John. St. John plays their home games at Smith Field right there on West Avenue in Ashtabula, Ohio. We've covered baseball there before. It was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to watch it this year. So that's one of the big games to check out. On the 30th, they're going to be heading to Mentor Christian, and followed by a 3-game away stand. So 31st, they're going to Maplewood. April 3rd, they're going to Chalker. Then on April 5th, they come back home. Lordstown, they're going to be playing them there. April 6th, they'll be at Badger. April 10th, they're going to Conneaut, another game that is starred on there, as we will be heading into Conneaut, another YSN family school. April 11th, they're going to be going to Cornerstone. April 12th, Chalker coming here to play them at Smithfield, followed by April 14th, they're going to be playing Badger at home. April 15th. This is one that when it comes, we've talked about Geneva, and right now we're still trying to get that relationship in there so we can provide the Eagles the very best coverage. This is one that it kind of stings that we can't cover this one because it's going to be at Geneva, and unfortunately we don't have that. They're the only one. We got 7 out of 8 schools locked in here into the YSN family. This one kind of stings a little bit as it is a doubleheader on April 15th with St. John playing both Geneva and Jefferson on that day. That is sure to be a great game. You never know. Things change overnight sometimes. Maybe by then we have some sort of a working relationship with Geneva, I hope, and that can be covered and broadcast right here on the 440 Sports Show for ysnlive.com. 417, though, they're going to be playing Cardinal at home, 420. They're going to be playing Mentor Christian at home, 421. They're going to Matthews, 424. They're going to be home versus Bristol, followed by another home game versus Wyndham. Then they're going on a long road trip as they go from 428 to 56, playing on the road at Fairport, at Bristol, at Andrews Osborne Academy, and then at Grand Valley for a doubleheader. Now, that is one that I'm still trying to get some more details on because I know that Grand Valley game is actually going to have quite a few Ashtabula County teams as well. So if that doubleheader is still going on this year, you can bet your bottom dollar that's going to be right here on the network as well. One of the interesting ones, and then ending the season there at Lordstown before hosting Andrews Osborne on the 9th. One of the things I want to talk about, there are a couple interesting matchups. Obviously, the PV matchup is interesting. The Jefferson and Geneva matchup is going to be very interesting. Fairport and St. John are Alabama and Auburn. They are, Kent and Akron. I guess you can call it a respect, but they do not care for each other. That is a rivalry through and through every single sport. And Fairport last year has their season ended by the St. John Heralds at Fairport. So it doesn't get much worse than that. That is a game that I think is going to be very, very interesting to watch. One of the ones I'm going to be kind of keyed in on. One of the games I don't see on here, which is a heartbreaker. I think this year watching Edgewood play St. John would have been a big time game, an awesome matchup to watch. I think both of these teams have an absolute ton, and I mean ton, of talent. And that matchup would have been really awesome to watch. And the reason why I bring it up is because baseball season of all the high school sports, I think baseball season is the most fluid. So you never know. If you speak it into existence, it may just happen. Let's go over into the players as we talk about some of the returning players for the St. John Heralds who got a taste of success this year. Let's see if they're still hungry to continue to get better. My thought is probably that they are. We're going to start with a couple seniors, actually. Matt Miller is going to be returning. Matt Miller is going to be an infielder with some pitching duties. He was a big time relief guy for them last year. Now, he started a couple times too, but he was able to come in relief and really provide some quality innings for St. John last year. And this kid has a bat on him as well. Also, another guy that's going to be big behind the plate for them, Tommy Miller, his brother. They're twins. These senior brothers are going to make a big difference here for St. John this year. Looking forward to watching them. When it comes to the Millers, they're just an athletic group of kids. Every time they're on the court, the field, whatever they're doing, they make a difference. These guys are gamers. They come to play and they don't come to lose. Jesus Hernandez, the phenomenal athlete for St. John on the soccer field, on the basketball court. He's going to be playing outfield for them. This kid, he stands at about 6'2" or 6'3". One of the things I like watching him is he's their center fielder typically, and he covers a ton of ground. So, trying to get those gap shots are going to be hard on St. John this year just because they cover the field very, very well. And the same way he covers the field very well with long strides and his ability to run, Bryce Vanetti is going to do the same thing. Bryce Vanetti is another kid who, big wingspan kid, going to be able to cover a lot of field, great glove, able to make the catch when he needs to do it. Bryce Vanetti, pretty good behind the plate last year. I know he picked it up a lot at the end last year. Had some struggles early on in the year, but most of the team did. Vanetti was able to come in, make a big difference, and I think that's how they end up with 10-10 because the Heralds had a tough start to the year last year. Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is going to be playing what I personally believe is the toughest dual role in sports. Williams going to be going catcher and pitcher. Ryan Williams now this kid's only a sophomore, and this is when we talk about growing pains and how St. John ended the year stronger than they started the year. I think a lot of it comes down to because this was a freshman heavy team last year. And some of their biggest playmakers last year were, in fact, freshmen. And one of their biggest playmakers is this young man right here, Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams goes out there and throws a complete game shutout last year. I mean, this kid has been playing baseball for years and years. He's one of the travelers. When it comes to baseball, there are two types of kids. There are kids who play in the season, and there are kids whose season never ends. And Ryan Williams is a kid whose season never ends. A travel baseball player. He's a great pitcher. He has a great sense for the game, and he may as well be swinging a tree trunk because that dude hits absolute bombs. Check out Ryan Williams this year. I'm telling you, that's going to be one to watch. And then we got to go another fantastic freshman. That's Will Anderson. So Will Anderson coming in, he's going to be another pitcher for them. Also going to play some infield. I think he plays shortstop for them a little bit. Will Anderson is a guy who we talked about. The season never ends for him. This is a kid who's traveling all over the state, all over the country, playing baseball, getting tested out, going against the best athletes of the best. There's some information on him, on his pitching, his ability to hit. This kid is really what I don't even know if I call him as much a pitcher as I call him just a purebred baseball player. This is a kid who plays baseball at a very high level. He's coming in as a sophomore. Big time. These are some guys that are going to make a big time difference. They are year-round players. And as much flack as AAU and travel baseball and that sort of thing catches, it does produce top-tier athletes, particularly when you're going against guys who aren't playing as often as you. Farron Staines is coming back this year. He's going to be an outfielder for them. Let's talk a little bit about the guys they lost. Devin Russilliot, obviously a big loss. The machine makes a difference. He was their catcher last year. Not just a catcher, but a leader. This is a kid who, a lot of the underclassmen kind of looked to during times when they got tough. He's a guy who helped them push through. Tyler Cathcart, who was one of the best athletes in the county last year. They're losing an outfielder there that really was a sure glove, a big time bat. Sorry, we got. Anyway, a sure glove, a big-time bat for them. He's just a great athlete. Rodrigo Yamas was another guy that was able to help them behind the plate. Those are three bats that they're going to miss in the lineup this year. But, there's rebuilders and there's reloaders. And this year, I think St. John is taking on the role of a reloader. So some new additions to the team this year. Vin Narducci, who's going to play some infield for them this year. Check him out. If you remember his name being called a ton for basketball and a ton for football, that's their quarterback. That's their shooting guard. This kid's a pure athlete. Every time, whatever he's playing, he's going to make a difference in. Narducci is able to always stand out amongst athletes because he's a great athlete himself. Anthony Severino is one that I think a lot of people, not just here, but around the county, are keeping an eye on. Anthony Severino, we talked about Ryan Williams, we talked about Will Anderson, and we talked with those guys are guys that the baseball season never stops for them. Anthony Severino is another one. He's coming into this game. He's a travel ball player. He's a pitcher. He's an infielder. He's got a great understanding for the game. He's got a great feel for the game. It's a big addition with Anthony Severino. Same can be said about Donnie Crawford. Donnie Crawford is a big kid. He's a big kid with a great sense for the game, a great glove. AJ Hensley going to be joining the team this year, going to play some infield for them. And Aaron Wychak, who is coming on, and he's another one that has a lot of big expectations behind him. Aaron Wychak is a great athlete. He comes from great athletes. This is a kid who understands baseball, wasn't able to play the game last year. He gets to come out this year and play the game. Look for them. When you look at this St. John team, I think something should stick out to anybody, and I think they're going to be the only ones with this kind of strength in the county. And the strength I'm talking about is there are a lot of pitchers on this team. One of the things we talked about with baseball, and in high school baseball in particular, is that having 1 or 2 great arms is minimum, and 3 is a luxury. This St. John team has 5 guys that can go out there right now and give you quality innings and throw consistent strikes. 5 of them. They got 5 arms on this team. That's a legitimate rotation for the St. John Heralds. They've got a lot of other guys who are going to be interchangeable in the infield where they're playing. Some days they might be first, some days they might be third, some days they might be second, some days they might be short. All the outfielders are interchangeable, but I guess that's not truly unique. But 5 pitchers, 5 arms to choose from, 5 arms for Coach Alvin Rodriguez, who's one of the best in the area to do it, to manage. That's a lot. That is a lot of pitching, a lot of offense or of defense for them. He can make a lot of changes. So you're not going to be able to, you're not going to have issues where a kid's going out there and he's getting dinged on. And you don't have a relief guy because, your starter's on 1-day rest, or your starter went out yesterday and threw 90 pitches or something crazy like that. No, at St. John, you've got 6 arms to choose from. And more so than the best part about having 6 arms to choose from is at that point it comes competition. And through competition breeds the best. So, if these kids are all competing with each other for a spot on the mound, the ones who are on the mound have really earned it and really are going to, make a difference when they're up there. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I think St. John has the tools. I think they have the weapons. I think they have the coach. Do they have the drive? We're going to find that out. I think they can make a big-time run this year. I think they could be a big-time team this year. They have improved. They found that spark last year and are bringing back 75% of their team. Could be a special year for St. John, but when we'll find out. And we're going to find out right here on YSN Live on the 440 Sports Show, because those games we're going to work on covering baseball at a much more consistent level this year. I told you my goal for the year is 2 baseball or at least 2 games a week, and I'm going to try and shoot for 3. We're going to try and get at least 3 games, whether they're baseball or softball, in a week right here for the coverage, for the exposures, for the local athletes. I'm really, really excited about baseball this year. I've never got to cover it to this level, so we're going to see how awesome this goes this year. But that is, and if you missed anything through that preview, go over to the Instagram page, go over to the Facebook page. It's all available right there. Go check it out. But that's going to do it for today's show. I want to thank absolutely everybody for tuning in. It was a blast today. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over the Lakeside Dragons. That's going to be the team we're going to preview tomorrow. There's some big changes that are going to happen for them this year, as they've got some improvement that they got to get through, that they had to get through from last year, and I think they've been able to do it. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. It's going to be the Lakeside Dragons. We're going to kind of do a recap on how the Yorkcast went and see if maybe the Springfield Lady Tigers are getting ready to play on Saturday. For the 440 Sports Show, this is Sam Torres. Thanks so much for joining, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the football. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really doubt it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and Connie I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the